Hey, Andy, so I actually have something to say other than this is awesome. Even though this is very good, I actually have some suggestions for you here, which has been rare for me for your work because it's very good. My real beef with your images, believe it or not, is not the extreme short length lens, but it's that the ceiling is so dark. So I know that you said that you used one light all in its lonesome rather. I think that it would have been really helpful to just go ahead and take the softbox off one of your other lamps, put it all as high on the stand as it could possibly go, and just point it up kind of in the general direction of the ceiling, and just let it kind of illuminate it. Because can you imagine if you had like a nice gradient coming, starting light and then coming a little bit dark down here on the ceiling? I think that would have been really beautiful. Or even a gobo, just take the softbox off again and then just cut some shapes out of a black piece of material and just do something for the ceiling. I think that would have gone a long way. And I oftentimes in interior photography of, stuff like this of rooms, I oftentimes have an aesthetic beef with where the wall hits the ceiling. It's an awkward architectural bit of a building. If there's no crown molding, basically, if there's no crown molding, that's just kind of an ugly section of a building. And something has to be done by the photographer to compensate for that, because otherwise, the whole building is this really beautiful, dated thing going on. The furniture, the architecture, it's all really nice, but like you could see that this is just lacking. Even if there is crown molding up there, we're not seeing it, so it doesn't matter. And anything to hide that, some forced, abstract lighting, some texture, anything would have been good. And also, like, look how lovely this is. Your incandescent lamp with that this nice gradient, sort of abstracted, beautiful, flowy thing going on with the light. You can force that kind of stuff onto a ceiling. You can put a light way up there, cut some shapes out of some black cardboard, and force and just like imply that out of the view of the camera is some incredible lighting device that makes wonderful shapes on the, something like that. It goes a long way, because I think that the contrast of the image, the white balance of the image, the camera's angle, the distortion of the lens are all working together, but it always falls apart towards the end of top of the building or top of the room. It's just not very interesting up there, compared to all the visual weight and detail down here. Sorry, this sort of just lags, in each image. And then this one, I think this one, I get the feeling is all available. I don't think that you're adding any light to this. I'm not positive about that. So maybe not in this one so much, especially because, the empty space that we have up here in the ceiling is balancing out with this one. I don't know. I take that back, though, because here, these are chairs. The chairs are acting as a gobo between your key light, the light from coming outside, and then this surface, right? And wouldn't it be neat to echo those abstracted, really neat shapes up here somehow? And you could have done that with incandescent light. You would have needed to put a blue filter on it so that it matched this down here without, that would save you hours in post. Well, if you're me, it would save you hours in post. Somebody else could probably do it in 2 seconds, but yeah, so that would be my big thing. That being said, I think that you were very smart to let your tungsten lights act really just as secondary or fill at best. I think that was the right thing to do, because any other choice with the lighting diffusion tool that you have here, just your softbox, was going to yield really hard shadows. The window does a pretty good job giving you a nice soft light, because the window is effectively larger in size than most of your subjects. So it's giving you nice soft shadows. However, your softbox is not. Your softbox isn't actually that big, especially at such a distance. And so you of course are seeing harder shadows down there cast by your light. Now now I'm just officially a broken record, but something that would be nice for you to do for yourself, and I always recommend that people do this, is go ahead and start building for yourself, even if you don't have plans for them right now, those big door-sized PVC frames that you can hang scrim or just white nylon on, so that you can, instead of having a light this big, you can have a light this big. And then there's so much that you can do with that. And seriously, can you imagine like a diffused light this big with then on top of it a gobo that big with just shapes cut out of it? I mean, the things that you could do with that tool are amazing. So you really don't have anything but wide-angle lenses, huh? Nothing else? You don't have any other lenses? Oh, this is fun. These little guys. I'm done giving you feedback now. I'm just looking at these little details here. Your little flying UFOs. These are great. I love this room. I would like to go there. Oh, that's nice. This is nice, actually. This is a really nice angle on that room. You know why? Because there's no ceiling, and so so everything is activated. All the space is activated and moving and flowing, even though even though it's a shot of inanimate objects. There's a lot of movement in this image. Whereas, like this space up here, it just dies. Like that beautiful movement, it just dies up in the ceiling. You know. Oh, this is nice too. I kind of like that big blocky thing in the front there. What are these, folding chairs? Anyways, clearly I've gotten to the end of my video a little while ago, so thanks so much for doing this, and really consider building some bigger, more aggressive light modification tools for yourself to solve those kind of big room kind of problems. Because so far we've only really worked on lighting small things, and this is everybody's first shot at lighting something that's much, much bigger than that. And I believe it's technically by far our most difficult assignment. It's not the most extensive. Next week you'll have a shot that requires a lot more thinking and planning ahead, but as far as like technical difficulty, this one's where it's at. Okay, so fantastic job. Thanks so much, Andy, and I hope you have a great weekend.